Guys, I was freaking out earlier today because there was this story going viral about the this New Zealand Jacinda Ardern. Oh, yeah. And apparently she was calling for censorship, and I got really scared, and I started sweating bullets, and I'm like, what's happening? Is disinformation coming? And then, thank you. Newsweek published the fact check.
Oh, cool.
Did New Zealand's Jacinda Ardern call to censor free speech?
Yes.
No.
No?
Thank you, Newsweek, for correcting the record. It's false. Oh. She didn't actually call for censoring free speech. I was worried, because this idea that a world leader would be like, we should control the flow of information really scared me. But thank you, Newsweek, for correcting the record and letting us all know what really happened. Yeah. Let me play the video just to make sure everybody understands. We're booting it up here. We got Twitter loading up. Here we go.
This week we launched an initiative alongside companies and non-profits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes.
That's not so bad, right?
This will also be important in understanding more about mis- and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address. Sadly, I think it's easy to dismiss this problem as one in the margins. I can certainly understand the desire to leave it to someone else. As leaders, we're rightly concerned that even the most light touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly.
See, she says we value free speech. Why is everybody ragging on this?
But while I cannot tell you today what the answer is to this challenge, I can say with complete certainty that we cannot ignore it. To do so poses an equal threat to the norms we all value.
Norms.
After all, how do you successfully end a war if people are led to believe the reason for its existence is not only legal but noble?
Now, hold on there a minute. I agree with that. We were lied into the Iraq War. And when you tried coming out and saying this was bunk BS and we shouldn't be there, or Afghanistan for that matter, nobody believed you and the media kept lying about it. Well, wait a minute. That's the corporate press that did that.
Yes. That's the government that did that.
Whoa, yeah, that was former national security. So what is she saying?
How do you tackle climate change if people do not believe it exists?
Think about that. Here is to get serious, like this is a despotic speech. This is the Prime Minister of New Zealand saying, if people don't believe something exists, you can't manipulate it. Mm-hmm. It's just remarkable because it's like, imagine going around as a government leader insisting that we should take action to stop the moon men from invading Earth. And you're like, but why doesn't anyone believe me when I tell them the moon men are coming? Maybe you're wrong. Maybe. That's the insane thing about it. That right there is the most important part of the speech. It shows you where these world leaders want us to be. Climate change is ideological. Now, we can talk about the science behind it, that's fine, but there's a rift in politics as to whether or not people think it is or isn't happening. We just had a video the other day where Don Lemon tried pushing a NOAA scientist into saying the hurricane was intensified by climate change, and he would not do it. That's the perfect example of what I'm saying. I think there's climate change issues, I do, but I certainly think when Don Lemon as a zealot is like, how is climate change affecting this? And he goes, it's not. And he goes, well, hold on there a minute. Like I grew up there. I think it is. I think it is. Yeah. Okay. You're a zealot. She's clearly asserting here that she has an ideology that she wants to persist, and there is an opposition to that ideology she does not want to exist. This is the underlying message of what this psychopath is saying. We must address this issue. Yeah. The issue is they want to control what you can think, what you can hear, and what you can see. And ultimately, how you'll end up voting because of it.
Yeah, the speech gets worse as it goes on. She pretty much alludes that freedom of speech is a weapon of war.
Yeah, we should.
She says that dissenting voices are evil and dangerous to her.
How do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous rhetoric and ideology?
Okay, that's not disinformation or misinformation, though. That's opinion. But let's.
The weapons may be different, but the goals of those who perpetuate them is often the same. To cause chaos and reduce the ability of others to defend themselves, to disband communities, to collapse the collective strength of countries who work together. But we have an opportunity here to ensure that these particular weapons of war do not become an established part of warfare.
Weapons of war.
She even admitted that it's often...
It gets worse. She's calling for a global censorship effort.
Is she saying that people often
have... It is to feel disheartened. We are facing many battles, on many fronts. But there is cause for optimism, because for every new weapon we face, there is a new tool to overcome it. For every attempt to push the world into chaos is a collective conviction to bring us back to order.
Good news.
Yeah.
We have the means. We just need the collective will.
Global censorship effort. This is the end game that they're working on, that they're pushing for here. She is a globalist, World Economic Forum lackey and stooge. She has secret meetings with BlackRock. She locked down her entire country and punished people for political causes during a national, quote, health emergency. When a few cases popped up, she locked down and destroyed people's livelihoods just a few months ago, and we cannot forget that right now.
Well,
this
hold
speech
on.
is
Look,
dangerous, and it shows us where we're going.